Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
Laugh out loud. You gotta laugh out loud. You're gonna laugh out loud when you're watching the BM show.
You remember we used to make our own theme songs like every single week, and it was always different.
Yeah, I do.
I like having this theme song better because when we would do it, I'm doing one thing, you're doing something else, and it was like a complete disaster.
I mean, and then for a short time we did have a theme song, but never used it.
Yeah.
As I never recorded it.
Well, now we have this one here. It's made by the BM band, and but good guys, real good guys. They all stay in my garage. They don't want any food or anything. They pay rent. So it's nice.
So check this out, Ben. I got to say this. I'm glad to find out that we are actually doctors.
We're doctors?
We're doctors because evidently we cured a man of his constipation.
Oh yeah, we're the constipation fixers.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, we are doing good work here.
The BM show,
above and beyond.
The BM show, we got the best shit.
Yes. So
you know what the name of the show is probably why he went and commented that. That was probably a joke on his part too. Was like, well, they're called the BM show, so let me make a shit joke. You know, we're kind of asking for it.
Little did he know he was actually joining the movement.
Joining the movement, yes.
That's an old reference that you'd have to be an old viewer of the show. So probably living in Ireland to get that one.
Yes. So I want to talk about real quick. Before I talk about the thing that got announced this week, let's go back in time a couple years. Hulu and it was going to be the home of History of the World Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, History of the World Part 2. And seeing that it was what the year was, I kind of knew it was going to suck. And I didn't watch it, but from watching the trailer, I'm like, I'm not even going to bother watching this. Fast forward to this week. Mike, do you want to talk about the trailer that came out this week? Well, sort of trailer, teaser trailer, because it was just more of an announcement than a trailer.
You got it. Okay, you ready? Spaceballs 2 is a 2026 American comedy starring, we don't know as of yet, playing this person, and we don't know who else. The movie takes place in a futuristic time that actually happened a long, long time ago, spoofing such movies as Star Wars, Star Trek, Star Gladiator, and Starman.
Okay, so this just reminded me of when I saw the trailer for the new Naked Gun coming out. Did I tell you what I did for that? I think I talked about this, where I literally went onto every single YouTube account that I had control of, went to that video and gave it a thumbs down. Because I thought the idea of even doing this is stupid. The fact that you got Liam Neeson, why? Because he has the same last name as Leslie Nielsen? So he gets to play the son? What's the connection? This guy's not a comedic actor. He had one line in the movie Ted, and that made him a comedic actor to be taking on this role. He's known for serious stuff. He does Taken. He's Qui-Gon Jinn. When I think comedy, I don't think Liam Neeson. I'm sorry.
Dude, Ben, there's A-Team. A-Team's not all serious.
What's that?
He did A-Team.
I didn't see any A-Team. So maybe he's just a fan of these older things, and it's his idea that he wants to do them. I don't know, but like it's just. Also, why do you need to do the Naked Gun again? Why do you need to do anything again? Really, maybe make references or have them, I don't know. I just don't. I don't think it's a good idea for a movie. I see Spaceballs 2 come out. I saw what they did with History of the World Part 2. I see what they're doing now with the Naked Gun. And I am honest. Also, and I've seen what the new Star Wars movies looks like. So, like, if it's going to be a parody, I've seen what the source material is. The source material alone is its own parody. What the hell, I'm worried that this movie's going to suck.
Okay,
I'm really worried.
then
What's
it
that?
sucks. Then it sucks. Big deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
it's not the end of my world. I'm not betting my like. Oh, I'm not worried. Like super. Like this isn't keeping me up. I don't give that too much of a shit about it. But
but I will have to say, I'm now learning you're one of those guys. You're the one that goes out there and blasts, oh, this is going to totally suck. Oh, this is crap before it comes out. Why? Why do that? If it comes out, it sucks. It sucks. It doesn't ruin the previous one. If it comes out good, great. It's good. I don't care that they're doing the Naked Gun again. I didn't even know they were doing the Naked Gun again until you mentioned it. But they can't. And if I don't like it, I'm just not going to watch it.
And the new Naked Gun is supposed to be like a sequel or like an actual sequel to the original movies, where he is the son of Frank Drebin. He's Frank Drebin Jr., which they never established that this guy had a son. At the age that the Leslie Nielsen was in those Naked Gun movies, he was a little too old to be, but then again, maybe, I don't know. They're stretching it, is the point.
Like a sperm bank donor son.
I don't know. Maybe they explain it in the movie. Maybe the movie's good.
Yeah.
Maybe it is good. But I see it, I see the trailer for it, and I see how stupid it is, and I see that they have somebody starring in it who I don't really associate with those kind of movies, and maybe this is his breakout comedy role. Maybe Liam Nielsen really is a funny guy, and he always wanted to do comedy, but because he looks serious and he has that accent, they just decided to put him in serious roles. I don't know, but I I think that these newer reboots are just like there's so many other fresh ideas out there. So many fresh ideas out there, and then so many new universes that they can build. And they're just going back to the well
Well,
again.
I hate to kind of burst your bubble here, but you mentioned that they're doing it because they have the same last name. It's actually Liam Neeson's.
Oh, see? Now I'm completely confused in why they have him cast. I thought maybe at least they were trying to get the initials are the same. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It's just you don't think one and then think of the other one. You don't think Leslie Nielsen and then think of Liam Nielsen. You don't think of it. You just Neeson. Sorry, Neeson. You don't think of Liam Neeson. You just don't. It is. Like, if they were to do a modern day, who would play Frank Drebin? Well, I wouldn't want him to do a modern day one. I wouldn't, or if they do, change the name of the character. Because once again, like I said, I got to explain how this guy had a son. Was he, from some former girl, and it was just they just never mentioned it in the movies. He's just a bad father. If
Well, and we'll find out, and we'll also find out if it sucks. And same thing with Spaceballs too. Now, I will say that somebody's left a great comment, so I'm gonna plug that person's comment. So when I say this, this is not something that I came up with, so I can't steal this and claim it my own. But the person left a comment that said they should not call this Spaceballs 2. They should call this Spaceballs 3, the search for Spaceballs 2. I thought that was great.
the search for more money.
But now I do want to say something. I've been a kind of tangent here, but since we were talking about Frank Drebin being the father of whoever Liam Neeson's character is going to be,
Frank Drebin Jr. There it is.
I want to say, first off, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, since it is Father's Day when we're recording this. I hope that you're listening to this show with your kids and you two are enjoying it together, even though there tends to be a little foul language now and then. But that's kind of, I guess, how life goes. But I hope you're having a good family moment in front of the BM show. And hope
in front of the beach. In front of the BM show. They're just sitting on a stage and me and you are watching them.
Now, I do want to say, since it is Father's Day, I've come prepared with a dad joke. I actually just found this one just recently when I was trying to look up some information on ceiling fans and instruments and everything like that. Here's my dad joke for today. Okay. I told my dad that when I grow up, I want to be a musician. He said, you can't be both at the same time.
You want... Huh?
Okay, Ben, I'm going to slow it down for you. You ready?
Okay, say it again.
I told my dad that when I grow up, I want to be a.
Oh, you can't grow up and be a musician at the same time. I get it.
There you go. That's the dad joke for the night or the morning or whenever you watch this or listen to this.
Yeah, well, my uncle told me when I first started learning how to play stuff because he was teaching me, and one of the things he told me was like once it stops being fun, stop doing it. Because unless you're unless you're in a position where you have to do it for a job, I mean, there's no other reason to do it. It's like so like that should be the whole philosophy to it. I think any of these things where if it's art related or sports, if you're playing baseball for a major league team and you can't fucking stand baseball, but you happen to be good at it, and this is what's putting food on the table, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, oh, well, he's making all this money. I'm like, yeah, but he's still stuck on a job he doesn't like.
Yeah. But that's the majority of people out there. They're stuck on a job they don't like. So it is what it is.
You mean you weren't a little kid saying one day you wanted to be a customer service guy that worked out of his house?
I did actually. That's what your dream fulfilled.
You got your dream fulfilled, so you're not one of the ones miserable. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not miserable. No, I'm not miserable at all.
No, yeah, I'm just teasing. So, yeah, so Spaceballs 2 will be coming out in 2026, they announced, and they haven't even cast it yet. I'm assuming they wrote it. That's probably why they're making the announcement. There's probably a active script that they have that's floating around, and whether that's the final script or not, who knows? But they have something on paper. What's
My
that?
biggest curiosity is if they got Rick Moranis to come back because he said he wasn't doing movies anymore.
If they handle this correctly, it could be really good.
Yeah.
I hope that there's enough people who care about this they feel pressured to do this the right way and not just be like, well, this is what my politics are now. Let's make the whole movie about it, because that's pretty much what History of the World Part 2 was.
Mm-hmm.
So
on that it's time to change to something else.
what
Recently we had a talk because recently I purchased something but eBay, and it was listed as excellent condition. It was a board game. Yes, I'm a board game nerd, but you probably already knew that if you've been listening to the shows. So let's link to the shows. So I get in the mail, and as I'm inventorying everything in it, I realize I'm missing stuff. And it's not, oh, you're just missing a piece here or that. I was missing, it was all tokens I was missing. I was missing 17 of the -1 tokens, and there are 18 of them total. I was also missing 3 health dials, which means that this 5-player game was now only playable as 2 players, among other things missing. Now, I wouldn't consider that excellent condition. But then we kind of got into a talk about buyers and sellers. And the buyers' feelings on sellers and sellers' feelings on buyers. Now, I know your comment back to this was just to figure out what the cost is to get the replacement, and then go out and and basically tell the seller what it's going to cost to get these.
more or less, yeah.
I also know that, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound mean the way I say this, but it's not really, because you could say the same thing back to me, is I know you're also kind of ignorant on board games themselves, just like I'm ignorant on wrestling.
Yeah, no, I because I just assumed that like this is, the multiple people would be selling parts and stuff. Like when I collect DVDs, people sell the single DVDs or box sets. So I figured it's kind of like the same thing where they have like, well, I got the pieces, but I don't have the board,
There's
But you,
sometimes that happens, but most of the time now it doesn't. See, the thing about board games is the being out of stock is pretty much similar to being out of print with board games. Board games are they're not like Monopoly where they just reprint more and more and more. There's a lot that goes into reprinting, Tim, because they're always that specific to that game, what pieces are needed, what cards are needed, the designs, everything is set specifically to that. So you could have a token that's -1 for something that hexagon shapes, but for this one, it's in the shape of an arrow, and you're not gonna find that. And when they do have to do, it's going to have to go through a quality check to make sure that everything lines up properly like it did before. Tokens aren't printing off in weird way on the punch out form. They have to check the cards themselves to make sure the cards are coming out how they should look. Make sure that the colors are the same, because I have games before they did this where I can tell based off of the greenness of the back card what the card actually is, because it's done over different expansions. So everything has to be dialed in just properly. So it's not just a reprint. Oh, we're good. We got a new stack of them. Let's start selling. So a lot of the out of print stuff out of stock stuff is basically a death sentence for that game. You now have to go to like eBay to get them. And a lot of people know that. So what happens with board games is the value of them skyrockets tremendously. And people use it just like people scalp tickets for concerts. People use this. Where they will go on Kickstarter, buy like $100 pledge to a game, then wait for the pledge manager to be closed up, and then turn around and take that $100 pledge and sell for like $300 on eBay, and they'll have buyers for it. So I'm in the situation where this game is out of print. In theory, it should be coming back, but we'll see. But because it's out of print and because the tokens are so specific, my choices are either if this person can't find these tokens, my choice are either finding supplies that don't match what's in it, which means I'd have to scrap the dials and have to buy dice to use this for hit points, or buying a whole new brand new copy of the base game just to get the tokens inside of it.
yeah, and I didn't know that. I didn't know how rare this stuff was. I know that you spent a lot of money on it because you told me like the value of one of your games once, and it was like hundreds and hundreds, and like when you said you even spent like going for £1,000 or something. I mean, wow, I had no idea, and it's crazy. But when it comes to like eBay, it's like high ticket stuff I hate dealing with now. Because all I need is for you to want to return it, and like I mean they're easier than they used to be with me. I sold a computer one time, and I had to take something that I had in the computer out of it, and in the process I unhooked the cable for the Wi-Fi, and the guy gets it, and the Wi-Fi doesn't work, and he just immediately files for a return, and eBay immediately takes the money out of my bank account, which I didn't have. See, now if I get hit with something, they give me a heads up and they tell me like, they have me issue the refund, and also they wait till I get my item back, which they also didn't do. They didn't immediately. They immediately charged me back on it, which I thought was bullshit. But it was when I was still earning my reputation, and yeah, so that kind of, I mean, I still do some big ticket items, and like I'll probably be selling a PlayStation 3 soon, and I'll be I also got a Mac I need to sell. I'm dragging because I just the idea of it coming back is just like it just bothers me, and I don't want this coming back.
Well, here's the other side to that is you can turn off the option to have things returned.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah. But
It is in the eBay policy. You can, and the fact that I don't accept returns, all that means is that it doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything. You look through their terms of service or whatever. The buyer is always right.
And I'd hate to say it, in most cases it should be that way.
Yeah,
because
the customer is right. Well, I mean, when you've been around longer and you have a better reputation, they give you certain more leeway on eBay. And my account is mature enough where I do get a level of leverage. Not like I'm not like a super seller, I do this out of my house, but like I said, like they used to do a return and they would immediately do a charge back. Now they give me the grace of doing it myself and picking so this gives me time to move money around if I have to, and stuff like that. Where I could see where if somebody was first starting with eBay, really hating being a seller. And but they do that purposely because people go on there and they sell bootleg stuff. Anytime I see somebody with a low score, I question whether or not this is going to be real. And so you want somebody with a good reputation. You want somebody who has been around there for a while when you're buying stuff. And a lot of sellers are very easy. Like most good sellers are easy to deal with, where they just literally like once it's out of my hands, I don't want it back. If I got to go and give you a 40% refund, I really don't want to, but that might be what I have to do in order for me to get this back. Now, when I say that, people are going to think I do that with every item. No, like if I sold a DVD and they said, I had to go and get this DVD buffed, I'm like, okay, how much was the buffing? Here's the money for the buffing. I'm sorry. Just don't return it to me. I don't want it back. Yeah. I've had it where my sister's husband, he sold something one time, and then after he sold it and shipped it, decided he wanted it back. He literally had to refund the guy, and he had to pay extra money for the post office to return the package.
Wow. And he could do that? Because I thought once this sale is done, it's contract basically.
I don't know how he did it. He just found maybe it was the way he shipped it allowed for that or something. But yeah, he had to ship back to the house. Yeah, it was crazy. As a seller, and the way you feel as a seller versus a buyer, like as a buyer, I always try to look for somebody with a high reputation points. As a seller, I do look at that a little bit, but usually I already got your money.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't care, just like I said, I hope you don't return it. And if if there's an issue, I always try, like I said, I try to work out the issues. I don't want the product back.
Yeah.
And if I got to take a little bit of a hit or the most, I usually don't try to lose money. I try to have it where at least I'm breaking even. And I'll just like, okay, well, now I'm breaking even on it. Whatever, I'm cover the shipping cost, as long as and the shipping cost for most DVDs is $4.62, $4.62, or might be 63 cents. Yeah. And that's medium mail. So I know that price. When I see somebody charging more than that, I'm like, what are they charging me for the box? The time it's taking the packet? Are they actually charging me for shipping and are they actually charging me for handling? Yeah. Because I'm charging you for shipping. I'm including the handling, But anyways, I keep going. What's up?
Oh no, that was kind of it. I mean, that's the comment saying, that buyers can be real jerks when it comes to this and that. But I mean, it's just the buyers themselves. I believe that buyers can be jerks. It should be able to be jerks to an extent. I mean, there's nitpicking. There's like, oh, this box had a crinkle in it. That's nitpicking. But if you're
I mean, even the guy with the computer, I'm like, you don't know anybody who knows a thing or two about computers who could have looked at its owner real quick. Maybe he does, but I'm just saying, like, like if I bought one, I would be like, well, I don't really want to send this back right yet. Let me have my friend look at it and see if they can get this working.
And see, I'm one of those people that I don't want to send it back. Period. Like, even though this one's not complete, I don't want to send it back because the majority of the stuff is there. And if I do send it back, then I'm looking at spending probably the same amount I would have to get the replacement base game for this one in getting this one again.
Well, Eric, I got two examples. One is me as a buyer, and one is a seller. As a buyer, I was buying the Ring movies, and I got the wrong one. I got Ring Zero instead of the Ring, and I messaged them, and he said, "Okay, well, pay for postage to send it back to me, and I'll give you a refund." And I did the math, and I'm like, "Well, it's not like I have a duplicate of this. I'll just add if I add the movie to the collection, what's the big deal?" So I just decided to keep it.
Yeah.
Now, as a seller, like 10 years ago, I was selling a copy of Rock Band 2, and I had played that Rock Band 2 disc so much that it started to develop a crack in it. And I saw the crack when I sold it, but I've been using the disc too, and I knew that the disc, as long as you installed it on your hard drive, the disc only had to spin one time to authenticate it. So I send the disc, I sell the disc to a mother who wants to play it with her daughter, because she actually sent me a message. And she sends me the message saying, "I'm a mother and my daughter wants to play this game, and we got the disc today, and we noticed there's a scratch. If we play it and it breaks, would you still take it back as a return?" And I'm like, "Okay, yes, I will. And here's how I've been handling it." And I said, "Just install it onto the hard drive, assuming you have a hard drive with enough room on it. And every time you use the game now, it's just going to use it to authenticate that you own the disc." And she said, "Okay, thank you for the tip. We'll try that." And then I got a message from her like a week later saying, "We've been playing the game all week and it seems to be working fine. Thank you for the tip and have a nice day." And I think I gave her $2 in return for the trouble. So like, would you take, because she did ask for a partial refund. Like, "Can you give me something for our trouble?" And I'm like, "Well, here's $2. She also claimed that I took pictures of the disc. I didn't mention in the description that the thing had a crack, but if you looked at the pictures, you could see the crack, but she was claiming that I was being deceptive.
Yeah, and I could see that, because that's something that you have to disclose, because on the flip side of that is that I know that somebody knew that their product was broken, and sold it and hid that, because when I got my 3DS, I got it because it was the Zelda style 3DS.
Oh, you told me this story.
Yeah, and it had a chunk broken off of it by the R shoulder button, to where there's a crack that runs down the side of it, and every single time it gets opened up, the whole the shell of it just shifts. So I didn't notice it when I first got it. I was like, I just opened it and closed it. I didn't realize that there was an issue. So I left Pod with feedback. Now I after I saw it, I messaged a person, and there's like, well, not my problem anymore. And so I went through all their pictures. I noticed that they purposely did not put a picture of it in it. After that, shortly after that, though, they disappeared from eBay. So I'm thinking that they probably did this quite a bit and got caught finally.
Yeah. Like, as long as like, I see, my justification for what I did was like, I had a picture of it, and I just like, well, talk about it. I'm drawing attention. But if they look at the pictures, they will see that there's a crack in the disc, and apparently the mother didn't, and she questioned me about it, and I had to go and give her, like I said, a $2 partial refund. And I think I sold it for like $18 or something. I sold it for 20 and ended up like giving her $2. So it was like, it wasn't too bad. So, but it settled. It settled it in. Excuse me. Sorry. In you just gotta be flexible.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna see what happens with this one, because of course, whenever there's issues and you message the seller, it seems like 9 times out of 10 you get the response back, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on vacation right now. I'll be back in 3 weeks, and then I can look into it." It always seems like it happens. Like, man, all these sellers, like when they get a sale, like, "I'm gonna go party in the Bahamas for a while." But
Well, one of the things you could do is you could check to see anything he has currently for sale and see if it's listed at the top of his listing that he's on vacation.
true, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because I did that when I went to go see you. I put that on. I had like 2 auctions, and I put it on the auctions, and literally almost the day after, actually the day after I came back, I sold something. So somebody was waiting for me to return.
Yeah, gotcha. So, but I noticed that he didn't have pictures of these tokens on in the images. So I'm gonna find out if he knew and just didn't want the buyer to notice, which would be pretty dumb if you're missing 17 of 18 of one type of token. Or if it was just something that was honestly left out.
I would, my guess with this guy, because this happens a lot, he probably is one of these guys who goes to thrift stores and he found the game at a thrift store.
I don't
And-
even it's a thrift store, trust me.
Or he found it somebody was doing a garage sale. And don't tell me you would never find it at a garage sale, because say you're a game collector and you live at your parents' house and you have a heart attack and die, and your parents don't know what the fuck this thing is.
Mhm.
It's a board game. It's like Monopoly to them. They don't give a shit. They're just gonna sell it. And these guys, they go through these yard sales, and that's where they find these deals. And I know that I kind of put it in a very dark way, but that would be the way that, like, you would have that it happens. Somebody passes away, the family gets it, and they're like, I don't know what this is. Let's sell it for a quarter.
You're trying here, Ben, but there's a catch to it. Was the response I actually got back from him on the I'm on vacation. It was, let me check my other stuff for this specific universe of gaming to see if I mixed it in with that on accident.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that he's one of those people who don't even know what it is. I'm saying he bought it, maybe he got it from somebody who did, and he thought it was complete, thinking, why wouldn't it be? And maybe he's just a reseller where he's got that and he's got 100 million other things he's got that he's selling, and it's
Well,
like just cycling through.
Even so, that means the seller should be responsible for inventorying something.
Oh yeah, no. He is responsible. I'm just trying to say, like, I'm
Yeah.
like getting into his head. What I think might be a possible thing that's going through his head is that he's just a reseller. I bought this cheap. I thought it was complete. I'm sorry, I didn't. Or maybe he is a huge gamer. Maybe he's got all these board games, and he honestly did mix the pieces up with another board game because he moved and his wife packed the stuff up, not him. It's like.
See, I'm hoping that the situation is that he was inventorying it and just left a bag of tokens out, because they're like 3 bags of tokens mixed up. So it might have been he just left the bag out and left them back in. So
Yeah, we can sit here all night and try to figure out what his motives were and be completely off at every one of them.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Is that everything that we needed to cover before we get to our main topic?
It kind of was, unless you want to talk about YouTube and copyright.
Let's just get to the main topic. Yeah. Yeah, I'm learning stuff about YouTube because we use a lot of movie clips, and we gotta watch it. That's all. But it's like I did learn. I'll cover the 2 things that I didn't learn: Nintendo and Square Enix will copyright strike you for using any of their stuff, and they will not talk to you. They'll just let that copyright strike sit. Most other companies, if you contact them and say, how do we make this right? They will work with you. There's no actual legal precedent to fair use. It really is up to each individual company. The Walt Disney Company is very lenient as long as you don't slander their product. If you are neutral or saying good things about it, they're more likely to say okay to you using their clips. And those are the things that I learned.
So what does that mean for us at the BM show? That means that
we will not do Mario. We will not do Final Fantasy.
Yeah. As of tonight, there will be no more mix and mic ticks for Nintendo games or Square games.
Yes.
Which is kind of sad because we just did one that was a Square game.
Well, if we didn't say anything, I mean, we're not making money yet. This is when we're down the road. Like, because folks, look, we have 240 something subscribers. We're going to be at this growth rate. We're going to hit 1,000, if not by the end of in a year and 2 years. So it's still down the road planning, but that's like then we can monetize and make a little money doing this without having to ask you for anything.
We'll hit 1,000 people somewhere in 20XX, which is fine because that means that we'll hit it the same year that Mega Man was. Hold on, wait. Ben, is Capcom, do they also do the copyright stuff like Square and Nintendo?
No, I think it's just
Mega Man will be joining us.
Yeah. Which is funny because they weren't even talking about gaming. They were talking about basically people who use movie clips or TV clips or interview clips, like people who just use clips in general. And she's going over these companies and how they normally like they said, if you try to contact them, a lot of them play ball and they're willing to work with you. Say either you could pay us or cut your clip down, or they'll tell you the parameters in order to make them happy. And he said that, but she went and she's like not even talking about gaming, just went and said, oh, and Nintendo and Square Enix, those two gaming companies, they don't play ball.
How is it that people then do the I don't know, Super Mario Wonder full fame?
Well, if you're doing a live stream, it's a lot easier to get away with stuff on a live stream because they have to catch you in real time. So if you're
so people can still see it,
and they just haven't found it yet. Remember I was telling you that there's these companies that they hire people like DistroKid. You could use them as if you have music going that you distribute through DistroKid. They offer a service where they'll go hunting and try to find people using your music. There's people who do that for movies and television shows as well, and they just haven't found it yet. The guy who worked, the guy who's sitting at his keyboard all day just hasn't found it.
Yeah.
But they will. I mean, WWE has a whole department. It's probably TKO now has a whole department. Their number one job is to go online and to track every piece of social media that mentions their product. Not to do anything about it. Not to flag them. Nothing. Just so that the company knows who's talking about their product. And
so basically what we want to say right now is all you people who are Mix and Mike Tick fans, all those blooms out there, and all those trying to save money on gaming, watch the videos while you can, because they might not be around soon. Who knows?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and they're basically the podcast was saying that they're getting stricter because money's getting tighter because these TV networks are losing money, so they're trying to find the money anywhere they can. And one of them is like, well, we'll just squeeze the creators on YouTube for it. And I was actually watching another video where they were talking, it just came up at the end of the video because apparently they had issues with that particular episode. And the guy was saying, like, if it gets to the point where they hit us with a copyright strike and then they start collecting money off our video, I just delete the video.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you're getting free advertisement right now for your product.
Yeah.
If you're going to go after them, they're just going to remove it and you lost the advertisement.
I look at it this way. If watching our review feels like we're replacing the movie itself, then yes, get us on something. But our reviews are, when I cut it down, they're a minute long or a little over a minute. And we cover like one scene, maybe we dive into. We don't cover more than that. I mean, when you listen to the long review, like on the show that we're doing now, like on the full show, we go through a lot more. Yeah. But I only have so much time in my day. I'm not going to sit there and cut an 18-minute review for the Peanut Butter Falcon. I'm sorry. It's a great movie, and it probably does deserve that review, that full video review, but I don't have the time for it. And it's just not going to happen. When we start making money at this, and that's when we'll start adding stuff, like full video reviews maybe. I don't know. I mean, I did it for Saved by the Bell, and I'm glad I did because I kind of, if you're listening right now, you might be listening because you saw the Saved by the Bell review. That's one of the reasons I did it, because I know that the Saved by the Bell catches people. It catches me. I see Tiffany Amber Thiessen show up on like a social media thing, and I will stop and watch her video. You know, it's part of, I have I Was Saved by the Bell by Peter Ungle. I haven't read it yet, but it's sitting on my bookshelf. You know, it's a part of my life. Not a huge part of it. It's not, my life doesn't revolve around it, but it is a part of my life.
Yeah, exactly. I understand.
Like, you know what's not a part of my life? Not
What's
anymore.
that?
McDonald's.
Oh, so here's what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight, we are going to talk about big restaurants and food establishments, but we're going to be specific. We're going to talk about ones we don't like. So get ready to get upset, get ready to disagree with us, get ready to blow up the comments. We want to hear what you have to say and why you think we're wrong, but we know deep down inside we're not.
So you want me to just start off since I've already said it?
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and go, and then I'll talk about the one that inspired this topic.
Okay. Yeah, so so you said ones that I hate. I don't hate McDonald's. I actually like McDonald's, which is why I don't go there. I used to go to McDonald's every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. I was addicted to their food. They knew me by my name in the restaurant.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah. It's like, hey, everybody, Benjamin. If you get that joke. So I went, and just, I wanted to kick it. And I did. I stopped going. At first, it was kind of hard because, like I said, it's part of my day. Part of my day was going there. All of a sudden, I get hungry, and I know that they're open, and they're the only restaurant really the only fast food restaurant in town. And I haven't gone. I've had McDonald's twice since then, but I didn't order it. Somebody ordered it, and they just said, "Hey, you want some?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" But other than that, like, I haven't really gone to McDonald's in like over 2 years.
You know,
And
hold on. You know what we didn't do is this. All right, so what was it that we were talking about? Which one did you not go to anymore?
McDonald's,
This one right here.
I don't see it. I'm still not seeing it. I don't know why that's not working. I'm assuming we're recording it though because it worked last week.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna work. So
What is
actually, I will say this about McDonald's. I don't mind McDonald's. I think McDonald's is actually good in that they seem to have the best value menu.
Yeah.
But that's really it. I can save more money going to In-N-Out Burger. Unfortunately, there's more McDonald's than there are In-N-Out Burgers, so it's a little easier to hit up McDonald's.
The nice thing, like, okay, so like McDonald's is, people don't know this, like McDonald's is the big popular hangout in China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why? Why is it, you might be asking, that the big hangout in China on a Friday night is McDonald's? And here's why. McDonald's is globally, they're franchised, but they all have to follow these rules. And the rules encompass, one thing they encompass is the bathrooms. So all McDonald's bathrooms, no matter where you go in the world, they're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
In China, you are a young woman or a young man getting ready to go out on the night at a club. The last thing you want to do is go into what might be a very bad bathroom that you have in your apartment building. You want to go to a nice Western style bathroom with proper lighting and mirrors and Western style toilets.
Mm-hmm.
So there are Friday nights when in parts of China where there will be lines going around the building, not for Big Macs, not for French fries, but to have a couple minutes in front of the mirror in the bathroom.
I'm not here for Big Mac. I'm here for Big Dump.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. If you want really good McDonald's, go to Japan.
And why is that?
Or it's a stretch. I know that that's a ways to go, but I will say that the McDonald's in Japan is much better than McDonald's here. So
I went to one in Korea, and also I went to one in Germany, and the meat's different.
Yeah, it is. I did not like McDonald's in Korea. I think I actually got the bulgogi beef burrito, beef. Why I say burrito? Beef burger there, and I was just thoroughly unimpressed. But Japan is it's absolutely really good.
Well, that's mine. So what do you have? What caused this discussion to happen?
Okay, I'm gonna unshare so that I can reshare because I'm gonna start mine with asking you, have you had your dose today? Yes, and I don't want to do another dose. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip going here. Dos Coyotes.
Never heard of them.
Dos Coyotes is, are you familiar with Chipotle?
Yes.
Okay. Dos Coyotes is kind of like the competitor of Chipotle. And it's trying to go, obviously Chipotle knows that they're not quote unquote authentic. Dos Coyotes feels like it's trying to be more authentic. And Dos Coyotes, I think, specialize in one thing. And I think all of them, pretty much all of my lists, for the most part, specialize in this, but definitely Dos Coyotes. They specialize in the over and under rule. Do you know what the over and under rule is?
No.
Overpriced and underwhelmed.
Oh.
And I just Maria likes liked Dos Coyotes. Matt really likes Dos Coyotes. I go there and it feels overpriced, and the food just doesn't have the flavor that's good. I know Chipotle is not authentic, but I like Chipotle. I'd rather go to Chipotle. The only thing I like at Dos Coyotes is I can the spicy salsa and the hot salsa, mix them together, and that's pretty good. And I actually put a while back on Facebook a picture of the salsa that I mixed and said, "Here's the only reason to go to the Dos Coyotes." So this might be more of just a Western thing, or maybe just my state's thing. But if you're ever out here, don't bother. That's my feelings. All right, you're up now, Ben.
All right. I'm going to talk about a Connecticut-based business. Actually ran, but it's formerly, I think they've been sold, but they used to be at least owned by a company called Doctors Association. It just sound real healthy, right? Doesn't it sound healthy? That sounds really healthy. And what's surprising is that they're named after a transportation system that goes underground. Subway.
Ooh, interesting choice.
I used to have the Subway card when I was younger and would go to Subway all the time. I loved Subway. And then um I just like their prices went up, the quality went down. I would go to a Subway restaurant and be the only customer in the entire place. All these tall signs that this place sucks. Uh and eventually I just wanted to say, you know what? For the same price I can go down the road to the deli and get a much better sandwich.
Exactly. 100% agree. And yeah, I would probably get a better sandwich at the deli for cheaper than you would at Subway.
Exactly. Yeah. You can the meat will be cut in front of you. Like I like my local IGA, if I go there, if I tell them I want top meat and everything, they'll actually put like the best meat that they have in there and the best cheese that they have. Where, you go to Subway and it's who knows how long that stuff been sitting there.
That's a funny thing. I'm glad you said that because their slogan is the most deceptive slogan: "Eat fresh." No, it's been sitting out there all day.
I think when they mean eat fresh, they mean like the street slang. So like, bring your bling and eat fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sure as hell doesn't mean the food's fresh.
Then that means, yeah, so that means that they're still like stuck in the 80s. Yo, this Subway is so fresh.
We're fresh, yo.
They're totally batical.
Yeah. Word to your grandma. She might catch this reference.
I'll never forget, like, I was checking out a Subway one time, and the I'm looking right at the cash register person, and it pops up, and she can see the the screen for the credit card, and it's all, would you like to leave a tip? No. I mean, it's Subway is one of those where they're like, I'm a sandwich artist. Dude, you're not. No, you just put meat on bread, slap some stuff. You actually just squeeze the sauce on it and just slap it together.
Yeah, and everything's out in front of you. It's not like you got to go and pull the stuff out of the fridge. You know, I would give more respect if you had to go and do that, where it was like if you were making a sandwich at home.
Yeah.
Where you had to pull everything out, which is what they do at the deli. They pull the thing out. They cut the slices for you right there. You're watching them cut the slices. If you want to sit there and watch them make the sandwich, I mean, otherwise you can go walk around the store and you come back and your sandwich is ready. Yeah, because most of these places they have stuff to look at. What the hell are you gonna look at the Subway while they're making your sandwich for you? Well, you don't want to look anywhere else because you actually want to see this teenager make your sandwich for you because you don't think that they can do it. It's so.
Well, here's the thing: if it's out in front of you, that also means that it's out in front of the flies.
Well, they got that plastic thing they put down, isn't the plastic?
Because yeah, that's such a deterrent for flies.
I know.
Oh, I think over there is a plastic. That's like when I went to Japan and I was sitting in a restaurant and said, "This is the non-smoking section. This is a smoking section," and the only thing that separated it was like a pillar that was about 3 feet high. Like the smokes could go, "Uh-oh." They put up these signs, I can't go this way now. Same thing with the flies.
Well, it's like when you used to fly and they had smoking on airplanes. I'm old enough to remember those flights.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're, of course, if I was with my grandmother, I'm in non-smoking, but my grandfather's with us, we're in smoking. But like you can smell it throughout the plane.
Yep.
Or if you're in a restaurant, you can smell it throughout the restaurant. There's a reason they outlawed this.
Yeah.
It doesn't get, it's in the room, you know. It should be done outside if you're in a public area where there's children. That's always my big thing. It's like I was talking to somebody at the church, like this was years and years ago, and that's how long I've been there. I can say years and years ago. So yeah, this is like 5-6 years ago. I'm talking to somebody, and I told them this piece of advice that just came to me. And it was the thing that they needed to hear. It was really weird that it happened, but I was like, it's like God doesn't want you to smoke, but He's willing to be okay with it. But what He really doesn't want you to do is He doesn't want you to smoke in front of your kids in the car. And I don't know why I worded it that way. Basically, like don't harm others. Harming others is more. Not harming others is worse. Not harming others is more important than not harming yourself. You shouldn't harm yourself either, but definitely do not hurt others. And that's the point I'm trying to make to him. And he just went and said, he looked at me like he just saw a ghost, and he went and said, that's actually what I've been doing. Like he literally was smoking in the car with the kids. And I'm like, wait, we're going to give him cancer. I didn't say that, but like, I was kind of more stunned that how stunned he was. And then we hugged and went our separate ways. And I don't think I ever saw the guy again. But it's like, yeah, it's don't hurt don't hurt others. Don't go to Subway. You're hurting yourself. If you're bringing your kids to Subway, you're hurting them too. Because who knows how long the meat's been there? Who knows how long the cheese has been there? They said that the bread was made out of some kind of plastic at one point.
Well, the cheese itself, they're like, "What kind of cheese do you want?" I'm like, "I know none of that's cheese because that's just been sitting there, just like that all day long."
There's a legal precedent to whether or not you can call it cheese. There's a reason why they call them Kraft slices and not Kraft cheese slices.
Exactly.
It's a cheese product. You can call it a cheese product, but you can't call it cheese.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play off of yours because I think we beat Subway into the ground, and I'm gonna take this a different route. I'm gonna go here, Togo's, which I don't know if you have Togo's where you are.
No, I've worn one though.
Okay, so Togo's is an interesting choice because I love Togo's. Like what you're saying with McDonald's, you would go to McDonald's all the time. I would go to Togo's all the time because they had the large 19 and all their sandwiches are numbers. If anyone knows who's listening to this knows what the large 19 is, I hope you got it because the large 19 was so amazing. It was an egg salad and cheese sandwich. So it isn't something that you're gonna go like, I need my egg salad and cheese. But when you actually get it, you become, I need my egg salad and cheese. I would go at least weekly to get this thing. I went in there one day and I said, yeah, can I get a large 19? And the lady says, oh, we don't offer that anymore. I literally looked her up the menu. I said, look, there's no reason that I want to be here because there's nothing else on your menu that stands out that I actually want to eat. I didn't say that to her, but that's what I was thinking. It's there for like 5 minutes in front of the menu. Like, what do I do? I'm here now, but everything here sounds good. And that was the last time I ever went to Togo's. And I have no reason to go back because they eliminated the only reason that was good to go there.
All right, I'm gonna go with a national chain. Because that's basically all I've been doing. Domino's.
All right.
This comes down to simply where I'm located. Where I'm at, if I could tell when someone's from out of state because their favorite pizza is Papa John's. And I'm like, oh, you ain't from here. But
You're not up in California either.
Out of all the chains that are out there, I think that Domino's is probably the weakest one. And because I'll still go to Pizza Hut. Even when even living where I am, we had a Pizza Hut here, and I used to go there like all the time with my girlfriend at the time, and that became like our place. And but when it comes to Domino's, is like I wouldn't even want I wouldn't order. I've had Domino's, and it's always just like it's not horrible, but it's also not like anything I wouldn't want to order. If because there's better stuff out there. It's like going back to talking about Subway. I can go down the road and get a better sandwich.
Yeah.
I can go down the road and get a better pizza.
Okay, so Domino's, I'll give them some credit here. Domino's used to be really good. Well, I won't say really good, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing pizza. But because you get what you pay for. And Domino's pizza was a decent pizza. And it fit the price. Now it's not good. It's cheap. So you can get like a pizza for $7 or something, but you might as well at that point just go to the grocery store and get a frozen pizza.
And that's the point. That point right there is why Little Caesars is not what I'm mentioning right now, because Little Caesars, you can go there and you can buy a pizza that's ready to go for $10.
Is it $10 now? Because that's now kind of overpriced. I thought it was less than that,
or whatever it was. I thought it was I thought it was $10. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but it's around $10. We'll just say that. We'll just say $10 because I'm spending too much time on that part.
There's no delusions as to what you're getting.
Yeah, you're getting a pizza of a certain quality, but it's ready. You can get it right now. There's no waiting 20 minutes. You can just walk into the restaurant, you open up the thing, bring it up to the counter, paying some money, and leave. And that you can't do that in a Domino's.
Yeah. And with Little Caesars, it's like there's times you're like, I just want to get cheap, crappy pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was down visiting my dad, and it was probably the best vacation I've had in how long it was. I was there for a week, and it was just his wife was away, so it was just two bachelors type of thing where we're just being men. It was nice to just especially with my dad, to just be guys for a week where we're eating too much, we're maybe having a little hard liquor, just minor things. We weren't getting sloshed, but it was hey man, you want some bourbon? Sure. And we share a glass of we would not share a glass, but we'd both have a glass of bourbon and sing our glasses and all that shit. And we went to Little Caesars twice. And it was just kind of hey man, you want pizza? And I'm yeah. All right, let's go to Little Caesars, we'll get some pizza.
Yeah.
And it's that's why to me it actually kind of holds some kind of a memory is attached to it now. So that's another reason why I didn't like shit on them on here. And then with Pizza Hut, because I used to go there with my ex. Domino's, I have nothing.
Yeah.
I never got Domino's on the regular. I probably had Domino's maybe 4 times in my life. And I've never been impressed by them enough to say I got to go do that again. Where I've gone to Pizza Hut, and when they had their deep dish pizza, and they were the only ones in the area who did deep dish at the time, people, they had something.
So I think that you're right, including Domino's, because we used to eat Domino's all the time, and I like Domino's, but it deserves to be on the list now because the quality has just gone downhill fast. However, this is going to be interesting, and that's maybe something you want to look into. Is they actually do some pretty good sandwiches. Now they're still going to be overpriced.
I have had their sandwiches, and you're right. Their sandwiches are decent. But there's also sandwich shops that they specialize in sandwiches.
Slayer Togas.
Yeah. It's like, oh, McDonald's has a pretty good taco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's Mexican places.
Man, you were just messing this list up. Can I go now? I gotta go. No. Since you just said that, what is how should I start this? Okay. It's always bad to be the poor man's anything. But when you're the poor man's Taco Bell,
oh jeez, what do you got? Del Taco?
Del Taco.
Oh jeez.
I've gone to I went to Del Taco a couple times, and I don't understand why this place is still around. It is, I get that it's really cheap tacos. It's cheaper than Taco Bell. But like I said, you get what you pay for. However, I'm going to say, when we're just talking about Domino's and having good sandwiches, the weird thing about Del Taco is Del Taco, that's been 20 years since I bought her, so, or longer, 25 years, had really good burgers.
You don't think of that.
Which is really weird.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go, I need a burger, I'm going to go to Del Taco.
Who would?
Exactly. I just went there because I had coupons for the burgers. Because obviously no one was getting them. They're like, we got to send out coupons to get people to buy these things.
Yeah, it's like, you think about it, it's like when McDonald's started selling pizza, or they were trying pizza. In fact, Subway tried pizza. Not many people know this. Subway has a test kitchen because, like I said, they're based in Connecticut. And back when I was still into them, I was working as a driving instructor, and I'm down in down in Milford, in the Milford Orange at the Boston Post Road is one of the bigger roads in Connecticut, and they got all these stores. Like every store you can think of is on the Boston Post Road, and that used to be like we had a Milford. Okay, I'm going beyond the point. They had a test kitchen for Subway. And in the test kitchen, I went there one time, and they were serving pizza.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, McDonald's even tried to serve pizza. And it's like, no, you're talking about Del Taco with burgers?
Yeah.
It's
bizarre. So,
it is. So bizarre, so bizarre. Na, 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 na.
All right. So let me go back to stop sharing, and you got it again.
Oh, let's see here. Places I don't go to would probably be like Red Lobster.
All right.
And it for no particular reason. You want? Oh wait.
I'm just trying to get the logo. So
okay.
So keep going.
Yeah, it's just, I don't like seafood to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to go out for this thing, I don't particularly care. Like I like certain types of seafood, but I'm not like a seafood fanatic. I like shrimp, but if you say, "Hey, let's go out for shrimp," I'm like, "Well, what else do they have?" I like it as an appetizer, but I don't want to have it to be my meal. Why would I go and do something that I kind of don't really? I'm not a type of food I'm not really into, anyways. Why would I go to their fast food place?
Yeah.
Or a step above fast food place, because it's not exactly like Long John Silver's, which is another, which I can kind of roll into this. It's like any of these chain seafood places. I just have no interest in them. Like if I'm gonna go for something for a genre of food that I don't particularly care for but has certain likings for, I would rather go to like a mom and pop place where they're like this place is known for. But I've had clams before and I like them too. Like this place is known for their clams. This place is good known for their shrimp,
Mhm.
not Red Lobster or Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Like I also wouldn't get a McFish fillet at McDonald's. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of fish. That's one of the reasons I don't like seafood. Is like fish. I'm not a big fan of it. It's
Oh man, I just pulled another one and I realized I was screen sharing. So everyone just saw my next ones, or actually one of my next ones. Sorry. So, well, let me talk about Red Lobster. I think Red Lobster is bad. I like seafood.
Yeah.
And um, they have really good biscuits, but I'm not gonna really go there that often. And actually, they shut down the Red Lobsters that were in the area around me, but I'm not really gonna go there that often because of the price.
Yeah, well, seafood is always expensive to begin with, from what I understand. So
Yeah,
that's another thing that kind of turns me off. To is like, why would I pay top dollar for something that I kind of don't really like?
yeah, exactly. Mhm. So on that note, I might as well jump in and spoil the next one,
Is that?
since it's kind of already been seen because of my bad, and that's gonna be this one right here. The people that do chicken wrong. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh God, I should have mentioned them. Yeah.
I don't know what it is of what they do to their chicken, but it just tastes like there's this level of slime all over them. It's like the Ghostbusters need to be called in to bust their chicken because something's not normal with it.
Yeah, like you hear people comparing Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. You notice how like KFC's not in that conversation?
Yeah. I think KFC was always the cheap chicken, but it's not the cheap chicken anymore because of, it's got the established name now because everyone knows KFC.
Well, KFC is a Christmas tradition in Japan.
Yes. And also a Christmas tradition in Japan is taking the colonel that's outside and dumping him in the Osaka River to where they had to chain him down.
You think they just welcome it after a while?
Exactly. Just let him float away.
Just make sure you keep his tracker. Don't lose the tracker on the statue so we can retrieve it later.
Bye bye, Colonel. There you go. He got a water grave. So, but yeah, I no, I'd rather go down to the store and get, like, we had that chicken dinner from Rayleigh's, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when your car flooded.
Yeah, but man, that's like 20 times better than KFC, and it was only $20. You go to KFC and get that, it's like $50 for that meal.
Yeah, yeah. Like Boston Market. I don't know. You have Boston markets over there?
Yeah, I've heard. I think we do actually.
Yeah, like if you're looking for a good chicken dinner, just go to Boston Market. They present it differently. It's presented as more upscale, I guess. It's just like it's presented less like it's fast food, and you're just getting like a whole meal. Their meatloaf is amazing. If you go to KFC, I have to mix the mashed potatoes with the biscuits because they both suck on their own, but for some reason they're good together.
Yep.
They do sell the one thing they do sell is they have like a snack bowl and it's just a bunch of their leftover shit all mixed together.
Mhm.
And those are actually pretty decent because it's like it's corn mixed with mashed potatoes, mixed with biscuits, mixed with chicken, all like in one thing.
It just saves you the time.
It saves you the time, yeah, because it's something that's going to be in your stomach anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, like if that's what if my favorite thing at KFC is when they mix all their crap together because it all tastes shitty separately, that tells you what you need to know.
It's the best way to put it. On that, Ben, what do you have next?
Geez. I really don't think I have much else that I could think of other than like places that like I'd start getting the places that are not even local or that are completely local. But yeah. So I'm bowing out, Mike. I think you got what, 2 more?
I've got 2 more.
Okay.
So the first one of the list, let me make sure I have it right. Yes. One of the biggest disappointments in restaurant history, Chevy's Fresh Mix.
I got a Chevy dealer in town here. I never heard of Chevy's.
Yeah, I don't know. Chevy's maybe more West Coast. It's like I think they popped up around the time of Chili's. Do you know Chili's?
Yeah, I've heard of Chili's.
Okay, so Chevy's was kind of like Chevy's, I think, was the Pepsi to Chili's Coke. But it's like Fresh Max, and the reason why they use the word fresh, I guess, probably the same way that Subway uses the word fresh, because it's just flavorless. Try to be Mexican, but we went more the route of Chipotle with knowing that we're not Mexican. And I think the only thing I enjoyed eating there both times that I went to Chevy's was the chips and salsa, because it was free. And I knew that I could be still disappointed, but would have to pay for it. And that's about all I got with Chevy's. I haven't been back there since I was probably in my really early 20s. And I drive by it, and I'm just like, ha, I'm not going to you.
Yeah. Chevy's. Can you drive by in your Ford? You drive by the Chevy's?
I guess you could.
Yeah.
So that'll bring us to the final one. The final one of the list, which I've been waiting to bring out here because this one needs to go out. And that would be this one right here. Starbucks.
Oh, I could imagine them too. I just don't even think about them as a food place.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that Maria gets Starbucks meals all the time because it's convenient. And she'll be like, I got you a sandwich from Starbucks. Yay. Starbucks is I guess I'd have to say queen, because it's a lady on the logo, and she is wearing a crown. I mentioned she is the queen of the over and under rule, because everything there is probably about 4 times what it should be priced.
And I know somebody who works for them, and they pay very well, and they get very good benefits.
Well, the reason being is that they have repeat customers. They have those people that are like, I can't afford to pay my rent. Dude, that's because you're going to Starbucks every day and buying a $9 cup of coffee.
I got 2 gift certificates or 2 gift cards for Starbucks for Christmas, and I'm like, why? Do you people even know me?
Yeah.
I have no interest at all of going to this place. I've been to a Starbucks once in my life, and I sat there for an exorbitant amount of time trying to figure out what in the fuck I would want from this place.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for like 5 minutes looking at the menu, and the guy behind me is getting mad. I'm like, well, dude, I don't know what I want because I don't like this place. I'm here because it's the only place open in the airport right now.
You know, that guy that was behind you then goes, well, can I go ahead of you? You're like, sure. He gets up there. Yeah, I'd like a venti double cup mocha frappuccino with a triple espresso shot and Java chips, a foam at 42 degrees Celsius over coals that were created in somewhere in the Himalayas. And like, it's like, really, you're gonna taste this little difference?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't like coffee, and that's the main draw of this place.
Yeah.
You sell the shittiest muffins. You sell tea, but you charge me for tea way too much than I should be paying. And it's like, I'm not happy with the experience. I'm like, I have no reason to go back.
Well, it's the whole prestige. I go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
I don't
And I know
care.
people who go to Starbucks all the time. I know somebody who goes there with their laptop and she goes there to work.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. You do what you do, you. This is just not my place.
Well, why don't you just go somewhere to get a drink, bring it back, and work at home? Why do you have to go to Starbucks and sit in the I don't know area where they have their little beanie couches and do your work there? Is that going to magically change your work?
She has kids.
Okay.
She's doing it while the kids are at home.
Locking the kids up. I don't know. Yeah.
About it for Starbucks.
No, I gotta add one time that Matt, yes, our Matt from BM Squared, he called me up. He was on his way over to my place and he goes, "Hey, we're going to Starbucks. Do you want anything?" And I said, "Yeah," for them to go out of business. But then I realized I don't want that because then all the Starbucks employees will then have to go on unemployment and I'll have to pay that out of my tax dollars. I don't really want that situation because that doesn't help me either. So I guess as much as I don't like Starbucks, I guess it could stick around.
You get a pass, Starbucks.
Yeah. And then that's it for the list. So please feel free to comment on the ones that enraged you. And we will actually read them.
Yeah, we have to read our comments, but that's because we're still not getting so many that we can't read them.
Yeah.
But
and maybe you know what? Let's do this. If you listen to this and any of these really upset you, leave a comment. Next episode, we will read the comments on the air, and we will have the person that presented that specific location read your comment.
Yes, we can do that. That's something we can do. Yeah. That doesn't seem too far-fetched, not like our usual promises.
Yeah. So feel free to say what you will about the places, blast us, call us idiots. We will happily read your comment on the next episode.
And with that, dude, I guess I'm not feeling too well, so I am doing this sick, and I also have to use the bathroom, and we are done with the topic. Do you think we should take this one home?
I think so. Just want to mention for next episode, we do have movies coming. Next week will be Ed TV and The Truman Show. And a surprise, we are also going to add UHF to that list.
Yes. They have it all on UHF.
They
including Ed TV and The Truman Show.
So look forward to that episode next week. And Ben, I believe you get to choose the last word.
All right.